Basketball is a game of guards, forwards, centers, and Larry Bird. He was a bit of all three, sort of a greatest hits album in shorts.
Unbelievable basketball player.
It's like a nightmare when you're playing against him because he does so many things on the court.
What goes through your mind to try to shut down Larry when he's hot, or shut him down anytime? It usually is hot.
Help, help, help. That's my favorite word when he gets the ball. Help.
But when Bird was at the free throw line to close the game, rookie Reggie Miller tried to get into Bird's head. He yelled, "Hey, hey," when he shoots. Bird glared at him and said, "Rook, I am the best fucking shooter in the league." In the league, understand? And you're up here trying to tell me something? He wore goggles at the game just like Kareem. What a legend. What does this tell you? Is he cocky? Sure. When it comes to basketball, the beautiful thing about Bird is that most of the best stories about him are trash talk stories. These stories are proving that Larry Bird's not only the best trash talker, he was the most savage player that ever played in the NBA.
Vincent to Bird, and it goes!
The extra and probably most epic one, trash talking wise, a bad elbow kept him in the Holiday Inn while his teammates lost Game 3 to the Cleveland Cavaliers. That was bad enough. But when the Cleveland fans and moronic electronic media had the audacity to cry, "We want Bird," Larry needed no more invitation to suit up for Game 4.
Game for the Cavs in the backcourt, replacing World. Bird and Edgar. Gets around him. That is vintage Larry Bird.
They don't know what they're saying, he snarled. They don't want me. They don't want no part of me. I'm gonna throw both barrels at them. He waved to the crowd. He took a lap around the floor, and then he buried the Cavs with 34 points, 14 rebounds, and 7 assists. Larry said, "I remember one of the referees came up to me before the game and said that if the crowd came out of the stands, they would protect me. Oh, I had the fans riled up, but I knew we'd play well because I knew the other players would back me up. I was ready to play that night." On a West Coast trip, Bird told the entire Dallas Mavericks bench that after the timeout, Ainge would inbound the pass to DJ, who would hit Bird on the corner where Bird would step back and take a three. "So you got that? I'm gonna stand right here. They'll pass me the ball, and the next sound you hear will be the ball hitting the bottom of the net."
He gets that one, so it's a 2-point Dallas lead. And the Celtics bring it up court to Larry Bird. From 3. Yes! Larry Bird! A 3-point shot with 4 seconds to go. And the Celtics lead by 1. Oh, mercy!
Incredible. Let's take a look at that one more time.
Wow, what a shot by Bird. The Celtics with 14 seconds to go. We're down by 3. Now with 4 seconds to go, they lead by 1. And here it is.
He knew he probably wouldn't have time to get it in there. Well, 4 seconds he would have, but he had such confidence in that shot. Not quite from that range, but he just did what was expedient. The Bird man likes that one.
And that's exactly what happened. Bird winked at the Mavericks before heading back down to the other end of the court. Injury-racked, he was already deep into the autumn of his career. He had hit Indiana with a triple-double in Game 1 before checking into New England Baptist Hospital to go into traction for his aching back. And now, with 4 minutes 23 seconds remaining in the second quarter of a deciding game, he had stumbled going after a loose ball and had smacked his head against the hallowed parquet.
Of his right cheekbone. They're taking x-rays now after the game. We don't know for sure. The second half began without Bird.
He's coming back in the second half, and they'll go crazy, Indiana coach Bob Hill warned his team. Right, he was. Bird jogged through the runway. They indeed went crazy, and Bird took over the game.
What a swing in Game 5 of the championship series involving the Knicks and the Lakers in 69.
Throwing in jumpers and post-ups while starting 3 fast breaks with rebounds and outlets. He finished with 30 points while shooting 12 of 14 on twos, and for sheer drama, it was and is untoppable. Larry said, "When I hit the floor, I thought I broke my jaw because I couldn't move my mouth. I was in a lot of pain, but I could hear the crowd out there, and I thought, I can't leave those guys out there all by themselves." After Craig Hodges won the NBA All-Star Game 3-point contest in Bird's absence, Hodges was asked if the victory was tainted because Bird hadn't participated. "He knows where he can find me," was Hodges' retort. Told of Hodges' challenge, Bird replied, "Yeah," at the end of the Bulls bench.
Been here before. Me, I haven't scored a point. You know?
But you kind of brought the guys here that scored the points.
Well,
So you're overpaid.
Games 3 and 4 of the playoff series with Milwaukee showcased the entire Bird package in one 24-hour spurt.
Defense either double or he's going to go one-on-one. Oh, my goodness. How did he do that? Bird just
On Saturday, he had 7 assists in the first quarter en route to a 19-16-13 triple-double that included a phenomenal dive into a pile and a sitting-on-the-floor feed to Kevin McHale for a dunk. He gave me at least 5 baskets where I didn't have to do a thing, marveled McHale. All I had to do was stand there. On Sunday, he blew the Bucks away with 4 straight fourth-quarter three-pointers to seal the series sweep. I hope, said Milwaukee's coach Don Nelson, the other Celtics don't realize what a privilege it is to play with Larry Bird. KC said if we swept, we'd have 3 days off, and that's all I needed to hear. When the game was over, I drove straight to French Lick, and I was fishing all day Monday. When the Indiana Pacers put rookie George McCloud on Bird in the closing minutes of a game, Bird yelled over to the Pacers bench, "Hey, I know you guys are desperate, but can't you find someone who at least has a prayer?" After Bird made 4 straight baskets with Rodman guarding him, he ran over to Chuck Daly and asked, "Who's guarding me, Chuck? Is anyone guarding me? You better get someone on me or I'm gonna go for 60. Then he continued the banter the next time he got the ball with Rodman inches away.
That's a set play off the backboard.
What a beauty. Johnson bounces it to Bird.
That was a set play. DJ off the glass. Larry Bird right there for the pass, and he scores. That's a set play.
When the Lakers beat the Celtics by 33 points in Game 3 of the finals, Bird said his teammates played like sissies.
Swings the elbow, and now is yelling at Larry Bird.
Underdogs, the Celtics went on to win the title.
Actually, after winning the World Championship, after being the MVP of the playoffs, MVP of the league, what an honor that is, MVP of the league.
It sure is. You know, after going through a tough season like you do, then at the end you start bringing in awards. It's really a great feeling because you know you accomplished something.
Bird greeted fellow three-point shooting contest participants by asking which one of them would finish in second place behind him.
Larry Bird, our winner here in the three-point long-distance shootout.
The year after, Dale Ellis told the press that Bird didn't have much to say this year. There was no need to talk this time. We all knew who was going to win. I started talking a little trash to him, Horace Grant recalled. I'm saying, "You're not going to score. You're not going to get this basket." I remember him then telling me exactly what he was going to do to me. He says he's going to fake me left, and then he's going to shoot a right-hand hook over me. And then he goes and does it and scores.
To spread the Bulls defensively. Let's see if they wind it all the way down. Bird low, Bird low. You can't double yet. Now you can quickly. Bird's jumper, good. 3.6 seconds left. Larry Bird gives the Boston Celtics a 2-point lead. This nails the turnaround.
Knicks forward Charles Smith remembers when Bird barked, "Sorry, Charlie," as he released a long last-second shot to win the game. That kind of thing makes you want to jump on a guy.
Has him. They go to Charles Smith. Bird blocks the shot from behind.
Heat forward Glenn Rice said, "When Bird started lighting you up and talking trash, that's hard on you. It's like driving a stake through your heart."
McHale, a block on Cyclist. Bird in the middle on the break. Back from Gamble. Count the bucket.
36 points, 21 rebounds, 5 assists, 5 steals, 5 blocks. One stretch of 15 for 17 shooting. Was there anything else? As a matter of fact, yes. Larry also stopped a couple of 3-on-1 fast breaks. With Magic Johnson, injured knee, watching from the LA bench, Larry put on a majestic basketball clinic at the Forum, and he hadn't arrived in LA until 5 hours before the game. "He told me he was going to do it," said Magic. He said, "Sorry you're hurt. I want you to sit back and watch. I'm going to put on a show for you."
All
heard Converse made a pair of Bird shoes for last year's MVP.
Yep.
Well, they made a pair of matching shoes for this year's MVP.
Okay, Magic, show me what you got.
It was Game 7 of a heated, emotional series with the Hubie Brown, Bernard King Knicks, and Larry was ready. Wrote Dan Shaughnessy, called it a quadruple double, 43 points, 12 rebounds, 10 assists, and a dozen standing ovations.
The crowd is chanting MVP for guess who at the free throw line.
Well, it gets my vote, to tell you the truth, because he does so many things on a basketball court.
Larry hit a 16-foot baseline fall away some 14 seconds into the game, and that was a signal he was in complete control. I remember making that left-handed shot right in front of their bench. Absolutely. That game was one of my highlights. There was never, ever a night like it. Game time temperature, 97 degrees. In ridiculous, almost inhuman physical conditions.
The hottest place in this city, literally. There is no air conditioning in this ancient building. And down there on that familiar parquet floor, the Lakers will have a bottle of oxygen alongside their bench.
Larry shot 15 for 20 en route to 34 points and 17 rebounds as the Celtics take a 3-2 lead over the heated Lakers. It was a 48-minute steam bath, snorted Pat Riley. Larry said, everybody complained about the heat, but I felt great out there. I remember running by the Laker bench and seeing them sitting there sucking in oxygen, and I felt like I could run forever. The crowd was really into it that night.
The basket by Bird is good, and there's a foul.
On March 3rd, McHale set a Celtics scoring record with 56 points. He should have gone for 60, Larry said. 5 games and 9 days later, Larry torched the Atlanta Hawks for 60, not including a three-pointer that was waved off. How hot was he? Larry had one blitzkrieg of 32 points in 14 minutes. How outrageous were some of those shots? One-on-one, a couple of astonished subs fell off the Atlanta bench.
Bird, 14 seconds, he got fouled. He hit the shot. They're not going to count it.
McHale grabbed an offensive rebound and fired it back to Bird for a buzzer-beating foul line jumper.
And hit it at the buzzer. Bird has 60 points. Larry Bird scored 60 points. Look at the Boston.
When I'm shooting like that, Larry shrugged, no one can stop me. As for Kevin, yeah, I told him at the time he made a big mistake by not going for 60. It was as good a mano-a-mano duel as the NBA playoffs had ever seen. Fourth quarter, Game 7, Eastern Conference quarterfinals. Larry Bird versus Dominique Wilkins. For 3 quarters, it was an even, high-level battle. In the fourth, they each put their teams on their backs and said, let's go. Dominique had 15 of his 47 in the fourth, but Larry trumped him by shooting 9 for 10 and scoring 20 of his 34 in the 12 minutes as the Celtics won 118-116. The Bird summation? Hell, this is my building.
Into quick three, stays with it, and the foul is called. The continuation for Larry Bird.
There's no doubt I'm in control of what I do out there. I can score any number of points my team wants me to. If they give me the ball in the right situations, I can rebound, I can pass.
As if 47 points, 14 rebounds, 11 assists, and the game-winning basket with 3 seconds left in overtime weren't enough, Larry spiced this one by making 7 left-handed shots. Memorial Coliseum was always one of his favorite arenas, but this was his Northwest Picasso. So what was the deal with all the southpaw baskets? I'm saving my right hand for the Lakers, he said. I told him I was working on the left-hand shot all summer to go at Michael Cooper, and I was just trying it out. Larry had 30 points, 12 rebounds, 10 assists, and 9 steals in 3 quarters. Would he like to go back in to get that 10th steal and achieve a quadruple double? Nope, he said. I already did enough damage. Why go for it when we're up by 30? Larry abused the Utah Jazz for 12 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists, and 4 steals in the first period alone as the Celtics jumped to a 34-10 lead. I remember saying it was no big deal about the quadruple double. I said I could get one anytime I wanted to. New Jersey Nets arrived early at Boston Garden 3 hours before the final game of the season as the coach Stan Albeck finishes a speech on Bird's pregame work ethic. The court, however, was empty. A garden usher told the Nets that Bird had already finished shooting. He pointed into the half light to the high bleachers across the arena. The Bird was running steps. In practice one day towards the end of the season, Coach Casey Jones laughingly offered to let the team go home if one of them could hit a half court and sank the shot. Bird grabbed the ball, ran to half court, and sank the shot. Everybody went home. When Time magazine did a story on Bird, there was no photo, but a painting on the cover because Bird would not take time from practice to pose. "Larry, this is Time magazine." Bird said, "Bob, this is practice." The Celtics had been pushed around by the Rockets in Game 5, and they asked Larry what to expect in Game 6. "I think everything's going to be just fine," he declared. Game 6 started, and Larry Bird plugged himself into every aspect of the game. He shot, he rebounded, he passed, most of all, he harassed. He was never more of a total defensive pest than on this particular afternoon. The final totals of 29 points, 11 rebounds, and 12 assists do not begin to reflect the scope of his utter ubiquitousness in this game. He even won a jump ball from Hakeem Olajuwon.
A few inches, to say the least.
That was the only game I thought I was totally prepared for. His physique is tall, 6'9", but not spectacular. No ripping biceps. Some people joke with his nose and mop of blonde hair. But he arrives at the opponent team's town, hangs out in their neighborhood bar, drinks a beer. Later, he kills them on the court and goes back to Boston with the team bus. Longtime NBA radio announcer Ted Davis once told the best trash talker he had seen was Larry Bird. Most of the pro players, man, the fancy hotels, the network's cameras, the paychecks with the obscene number of zeros, they enjoy it. But Bird kept dribbling and shooting. An hour before practice, 3 hours before games. I don't think being paid was never a big part in why Bird played basketball at all. And he talked all the trash to his opponents while he was killing every one of them. Even he once admitted that he was bored with simple dribble and shoot. "I'm like a gymnast. I'm into degree of difficulty," which explains his love affair with the game of basketball. How good was he? Could he dominate today's NBA? Just ask Magic Johnson or Michael Jordan. These are the greatest Larry Bird games ever with epic trash talk stories. Written by Lex Nihil Novi. Be sure to check out his blog. I'll leave the link in the description.